Hi Purva, welcome on Sikh Talks.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming over.
Pleasure.
How are you doing today?
Very well.
Well, excellent. The first question I want to straight shooting on you because when I was researching on your profile,
Okay.
and trust me, I dig into like maybe 10 pages
Oh,
about you,
wow.
so just be ready.
I am.
Here's a disclaimer.
Yeah.
First thing what takes my attention that you started your journey as a journalist and you
Yes.
worked with some very, very renowned media houses in India and in Dubai.
Right.
And being in media, it's a hustle job. You do lots of work. Your ambitions are quite higher. Then I see the another Purva who turns into writer. Like, how that transition happen.
I think the transition is the natural progression for a lot of people who get into journalism and who turned into authors. Both jobs don't pay you very well, right? So you are in journalism purely out of passion because you like to tell stories, you like to meet people. So you're getting in knowing that okay, this is not going to like really be a high paying job. So I did my BCom honors in graduation,
Okay.
and then I decided to pursue masters in mass communication while a lot of my friends went ahead and they did their MBA. So while they were earning and they were buying their first big cars, I was just able to afford to buy my first Nokia phone. So that's how much the difference in the pay scale is. So you do get into any kind of creative job, whether it's journalism or whether it's an author, because you're purely passion driven. I think you're working just for yourself, and the SMS at the end of the month is just like okay, a pat on the back, good job. So of course, I've been a journalist for last 19 years and counting, and I did start in India, and I worked with a lot of great publishing groups. I worked with Times of India. I started my career with India Today. Then I did the usual drill of Hindustan Times, Tribune. I did all of that, and in my last job in India, I was with a publishing group, and then I moved here, and I worked. In a couple of publishing groups here in Dubai as well. Somewhere in between, I realized that now I've written enough for magazines and websites. I want to write for myself, and it's a all the books are very selfish and very self motivated or driven because I did want to write for myself without a deadline. Because when you're in a newspaper, and especially now when you're in the world of digital media, there is this constant pressure to produce because you have to put something like earlier we had the pleasure of at least having 6 hours before the newspaper goes to print, but now it's like within 6 minutes you have to be able to write something
You have
or
to be
AI
much
will
more
write
faster.
something for you. You have to be faster. So I think in 2016-17 I decided enough, I want to write for myself, and that's how I think I turned into an author.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very interesting side. But I want to talk about your writing journey
Yeah.
after a while. But I want to understand few things.
Sure.
You work with some, as you said, with big media houses in Dubai and in India,
Yeah.
right? So, what are the difference you find working with the media houses in India and media houses in Dubai? Like, is there a pattern were different? Is there a process were different, or the market is being more cluttered for India media houses?
I think the market is just cluttered overall, and it's not just media. Because now what happens is that anybody who has a smartphone or who has a phone is a journalist, right? So the market is getting cluttered because you and I can report faster than what a reporter can report. Like I said that earlier, we would have the luxury to research, and now nobody's bothered about research anymore. So you have a phone, you're a journalist yourself. So as a result of which, in this room, we are six journalists because we have six phones in our hands right now.
Yeah.
Uh, to talk about the market difference between India and Dubai, it's purely a matter of the scale. India is a huge country. Dubai/UAE is much tinier in comparison. So that is where the difference comes. But then UAE is really, really diverse. So your colleagues would be from every part of the world, and you're constantly learning from them. And at the same time, you're constantly creating news for different people. So when you're working in a newspaper, you are actually writing for Filipinos, you're actually
Hmm.
writing for Pakistanis, you're writing for Indians, you're writing for Germans. So when you're talking about Christmas, you're talking about Christmas traditions all over the globe. So that, of course, is a huge difference between the two markets. But both markets are cluttered. Yeah.
So overall, media like the industry itself is kind of clutter when it comes on like what you have to do or
Yeah.
finding your own ways.
It's just diversifying, right? It's media is no longer sitting with a paper and pen or a laptop. I think it's just sitting with the phone. We don't need fancy equipments anymore. You don't have OB1s following you when you're covering a story.
Yeah.
You just have a phone, and that's good enough. So it is just diversifying and changing as you and I speak right now.
Yeah, excellent. But what inspired you to take journalism as a profession? Like you have family background of that, or you have just a
No.
zeal that you want to be do something different, and
Like I said, you have to be really silly and passionate to be in this line. So, no, I don't have a family background, but yes, there are. I mean, I have had uncles who are not really closely related who've been like ace journalists all their lives. My maternal grandparents were always writers, and they did their PhDs in Hindi and Sanskrit.
Okay.
So they would always read. My nana was actually managing a library after he retired from his job as a principal. So I think writing and reading has been in my blood or veins, whatever. But yeah, extremely passionate about telling stories. Like I said, I was pursuing BCom honors, and then I was like, oh, I like numbers. It helps you score because you can like really get the answers
Yeah.
right and like be a topper. But my heart did lay in telling stories always. I would write stories and I would put them on little pieces of paper, and I would slip them under my parents' doors, or if it was their birthday, I would write them a poem and I'd put it there. So, but I didn't know I could be an author. I knew I was always writing. I have always kept a journal. Like when I was 3 years old, I was writing in a journal, and I wrote in it till grade 12th or even beyond. So I wanted to express myself. I didn't know that being an author could be a real job.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so you had a foundation from the very, very beginning, I can say, in the very early age.
Yeah, but if you read the diaries, that was not really a foundation.
But it was somewhere like you
I
had that
enjoyed it.
vision that you are, yeah, you enjoyed it. I think that's some of
Yeah.
everything. But now we're in time of 21st century in Dubai, especially. This is a time of Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And I still remember, I think a couple of years back when I was introduced to Chat GPT, and the first question came in my mind that is going to kill the job of the writers. Like
Never.
very, no? So
Never.
you have a
Never.
different opinion on that.
No, no, no. It's never going to kill the job. I read a very very interesting post today morning. It's so nice. So I'm going to borrow and tell you that story. So it's talking about I want to climb a mountain. Okay, now and I want a picture at the peak of the mountain that I've reached till there. So there are multiple ways of doing it. One is that I train myself and I train with a physical trainer and I learn how to climb that mountain. That's one. And then I reach at the peak and I click a picture. Second is I use a helicopter and the helicopter just drops me at the peak and I click a picture. Third is I just send a drone and the drone clicks a picture and I use my Photoshop myself and I click a picture. All three experiences are very different,
Yep.
right? So what AI is doing the drone thing. So it hasn't exercised to reach till the mountain, so which means it hasn't taken all those steps, it hasn't met interesting people on the way, it hasn't been fatigued, it hasn't probably gotten hurt while learning how to climb, and it's just reached the peak without having doing any work. So now when I'm a writer, suppose I want to write about our experience with what we are doing today. Imagine if it's just a picture and I'm writing and I haven't experienced it. So I haven't met you. I haven't shaken hands with you. You've been kind enough to get me coffee. I've not had this experience. So when an AI writes, the AI is writing right at the top of the peak without having experience. But when a writer is writing about being on a podcast or I don't know, sharing your first case, remembering how your grandparents hugged you, you're writing from experience. AI is not experience. AI is not human.
But we're in the generation where, I mean, people doesn't have much time to go through the stories, to write about the stuff. Even I see some of the friends of mine, cannot call them writer, like a chat GPT writer. As you mentioned, like we're having a chat. They're just mentioning that, okay, I'm having a chat with a certain person, having a coffee, talking about a book launch.
Yeah.
And the chat GPT writes entire thing.
And writes beautifully. I'll give
Yes,
that to
but although I
ChatGPT.
don't feel that, essence
It's
that,
not there.
it's not there. But again, I'm just talking about in the future once, after 10 years, 15 years, ChatGPT can be an asset in your
You see, it is
mind
an
or.
asset. It is definitely, but it's only an assistant. So, and it should always be treated like an assistant. I would still say that as anyone who's creative, you're yourself creative, you're generating this podcast, use ChatGPT as an assistant. Let it promote you. But it can never be Siddharth's voice because only Siddharth knows how he feels after recording something. Only
Correct.
so it cannot replicate you, it can assist you. So a lot of administrative tasks can be sourced to ChatGPT as it should be, because you said that we are all really busy, we are all trying to multitask. So let it take care of some of the nonsense that you don't want to be, but it
Yeah.
can never be you. It's always an assistant and should always be a good assistant.
So how you advise people who are chat GPT obsessed these days?
Everybody is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So how you advise them to create the thick line, like a limit yourself, what you have to take from chat GPT and now not yourself dissolve in that.
I don't know if I can advise. I'm not the right person to advise. But going back to, it has to be your assistant. The moment, see, ChatGPT is learning from you and I, right? Whatever we are
Yeah.
feeding, it's learning from us. So that's why it is so smart. So we here now you have access to so many human minds. Suppose you want to learn about how to do a podcast. Initially, you would probably meet five people and you can read only five articles on it. But now, if you put the same question, how to do a podcast, you have the information and data from millions and millions of human beings compiled, and then ChatGPT is giving you an answer. Isn't that brilliant? And is doing it for
It's
free.
amazing. Yeah.
Right? So you actually have multiple tools now. So you put one thing on Instagram now, I don't know, where to get good coffee, right? And it's going to, and then suddenly millions of bots will flood your timeline on where to get good coffee. Did we ever had access to that much information? No.
No.
So use that as an advantage. That if I want to do, okay, how to learn how to do creative writing, just put that one word in Instagram, or even don't even put it. Our phones are listening to us right now, and open Instagram, and it will provide you where are the great creative writing courses. That is where it is to your advantage, because here now you have millions of bots who are just working to feed you and who are willing to provide you free information without you having to waste time on research. And then you shortlist it and then you see what works for you. So let it work for you in that case. But to give you an advice, you have to always remember, anything that we are getting free right now, which means we are actually giving away something very important of our lives. We are thinking it's a free service, but now ChatGPT has access to all your data.
Correct.
It knows where you had coffee, it knows what you're doing this moment, it knows what you like to eat, it knows what you like to read, it knows what you want to wear. So while on the face of it, yes, it is free, but
You're
we are just
providing
giving it
everything.
everything about our lives now, and that's how it is growing smarter by the day. So you have to be very, very careful in that sense. Whatever careful you can be now.
Yeah, technically just to take an aside an advisor.
Advisor, yeah. Not even an advisor, assistant.
Just an assistant.
Don't let technology advise you.
You sounds like really like you want to really control that ChatGPT thing, which people are kind of, even including myself, sometimes I feel like overwhelmed with ChatGPT.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's better to be technology as a technology, as an
yeah,
assistant, nothing more than that.
correct.
Well, I see you that you are a writer, you are a journalist, you are a storyteller, slash you are a, you go for the theater
Yeah,
as well. Then you have your book club as well.
yes.
Plus you are managing three of the magazines as well. How you manage all of this?
It's very easy. When your work is fun and when you enjoy what you're doing, it's just good.
One common thing I found in your, I think you have three ventures:
Yes.
the
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 Indian
Indian
trumpet.
trumpet, the junior trumpet,
Yeah.
and the stories over art.
Right.
One thing I found, kind of connection between them. It's like all of them are, very artistic,
Thank you.
very kind of nostalgic, especially the Indian trumpet.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I'm having some Indian sweet while reading that, like a
Oh,
laddus,
that's nice.
because it's kind of soothing, refreshing, and very
Yeah.
simple. So, is this what you are overall, which the essence you can see in your ventures, or how you define it?
Yeah, I'm very old school. So I think my biggest strength are memories and nostalgia. And especially in the times we are living, I think every now and then we do need a reminder or from the past. We can always learn from the past. We can also always learn from people who are senior to us, who've had more experience than us. I do strive and thrive on nostalgia. And the simplicity comes from there. I think the biggest moments or the biggest moments of joy and pain lie in the simplest of things, right?
Right.
So I do, that is why my first book is a lot of nostalgia. And the Indian trumpet happened because when I became an Indian expat and I moved to Dubai in 2012, and I launched the Indian trumpet in 2013, because I realized that Dubai is hugely Indian population, right?
Yeah.
While everything, every newspaper, every media, everything is catering to Indians, there was nothing which is screaming out loud, hey, this is just for you. So I said, okay, why not just revive that? Why not just have those conversations? Because when we'll meet, we still draw pleasure out of eating parle ji with chai.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that because those were the conversations I was having with people as a newly NRI. And that's how the Indian trumpet happened. And it's called We Capture the Color, Culture, and Chaos of India. So the editions are really interesting. There is an entire edition on Indian Ma. There is an entire edition on Indian toilet. There is an entire edition on cows, on festivals, and on childhood games. And fortunately, the magazine grew because I think everybody at the end of the day does crave something from their past. And that's how it naturally progressed to other magazines and other books also. If you keep it simple,
Yeah.
you grow.
Well, excellent. I mean, you've been an artist, I can see, more than a journalist or a writer. You are
I
an
try to
artist.
be.
And, artists are being moody at times. You can understand that way. So, if what motivates you every morning to wake up and do your things and run your own businesses, go out and get the world like, okay, I'm here, because some days, even as a normal layman, it's very hard to just, be on
Yeah.
themselves. And being an artist is a tough thing. How you manage that?
It's tough, and yes, there are many bad days, and there are very few good days, which is the story of most artists. But you wake up thinking that will I be happier not doing this at all, or I rather choose to be unhappy and still keep doing it because it's going to make me. If I'm writing a book and the book doesn't reach anyone, which does happen with a lot of people. I've gone to book signings where nobody has shown up. So I've sat in an empty room with 50 chairs where nobody has shown up. But I've also been in book signings where 50 people have come. I've also had experiences where for say 1 year nobody has read a book, and then suddenly I receive these only 2 or 3 messages saying thank you for writing this, you saved my life, or this is exactly what I wanted to read. So to answer your question, you work for those messages. You work for connecting with that one person, for that one voice. You're always writing for one reader. You never writing for 500. Of course you would want to be a bestseller, you would want it to pay your bills, you would want to win awards, but the biggest awards lie in the simplest of moments, that in the middle of the night somebody was reading your book and they said, oh my god, I can't stop crying or I can't stop laughing. So you wake up every morning only for that message and you just push
Wow,
yourself
that's a very
because it's
good
going to
side.
make you very unhappy if you don't do what you're doing. So for me, it's like if I don't write, I am extremely grumpy and hungry. Versus if I've written, even if I've written something very bad. So that's the choice you make every
Wow.
morning. Yeah.
Oh, that's very, very interesting. I can see that where the strengths are coming from. To just know your ability, what makes your soul satisfy,
Yes, it's just
and
that.
continue doing that. Earlier, we were having the conversation when you came to Dubai. I think 2016, 17,
12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay, 6, 17. The book was
Yeah.
published,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that you didn't had a job or work. So how does that like how you managed to find a work in Dubai, and how Dubai overall develops you as where are you right now in the world?
I think Dubai pushes you to survive, and you have everybody. See, every place has space for every dream, and Dubai does have that to you, but you should be willing to really, really work hard. It can also pull you down, it can also tempt you because it's too fancy, there's too much glamour and glitter and gold. So you have to remember why you're here and what's your own purpose. When I came here in 2012, I couldn't find a job. I was freelancing and I was writing for a lot of people in Saudi, in Kuwait, in India, and then slowly in Dubai. But I couldn't find a full time job for the longest. That's when I started my own magazine. So there is always a choice. You can crib and cry in the corner, and you can say, no, let me use this time to create something that I want to create. It could fail, but then for it to fail, you have to be on the starting line, or it could succeed. So I decided to be on the starting line, and that's what I do every morning. Just be on the starting line and see where it takes you. But Dubai does have space for everyone. It takes time to find that space, it takes time to find that standing, it takes time to find that tribe that you wish you want to belong to. It comes I'm not I would not like to be seen at parties, I would like to be seen at book clubs. So you have to decide where you want to be
Hmm.
seen, and then it will just push you in that direction. It's everything is here. You can spend 800 dirhams on a brunch, or you can have a great meal for 8 dirhams. That is the beauty of Dubai.
True.
You have to find where do you want to be seen, and then it will push you in that direction. But you have to work very hard, because every day people are entering and exiting. Everybody has dreams, not everybody succeeds, and it's not going to be easy. It's not easy for me. 13 years and counting, I still have to struggle every morning, because I'm in an extremely creative and cultural and artistic field, which in itself is challenging, but it becomes more challenging in a place like here.
Okay, you summarized quite well the journey in Dubai and
Yeah.
where to focus and don't lose
Yeah,
your
just don't
essence.
lose it. And if you don't lose it, you will be rewarded. I got the UAE Golden Visa.
I was coming on that part.
Yeah, I didn't know I'm getting it, right? Like, I didn't even know. So I just got a call on WhatsApp saying, you've been nominated for the Golden Visa as a writer.
Wow.
I thought it was a spam call. You know, it happens,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I said, oh, really? And I just hung up. Because at that time, nobody knew what the UAE Cultural
It's
Golden
in
Visa was.
2021, right?
Yes, so I was like, oh, what is it? And I just hung up. And then this person WhatsApped me saying, please check your email. I'm like, oh my God, this person is like a real spammer. Like, why are you like, what is happening? And then I get an email from Dubai Art and Culture saying, I've been nominated for the visa. I went and I showed it to my husband, and he's like, oh my God. And they said, come to the immigration. I'm like, are we getting deported? Like, what's happening? What did we do? And then I go there and I was in a full time job that time. I call my HR, and the HR said, we have no idea what this golden visa is. We tweet to the ministry saying, we've been called, and what is it? And somebody from the ministry replies saying, yes, this is a new venture we are launching. And you're one of the first who've been
Excellent.
nominated. So, see, if you stay focused, there is someone noticing all the good work you're doing, and that someone will reward you. In this case, the government did reward me. So I walked in, and I got a fancy picture
Yeah, I
clicked.
saw
Yeah.
that.
And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So someone was noticing all the stories I was telling. So if you stay focused, it will be a very, very long, tough journey. What happens in a lot of art and culture fields, and I'll use your podcast as a platform to tell this, is people think it's easy. People think it's fancy. People think that writing is, sitting in a nice library with coffee on your side, and
Yeah,
you're all motivated and you're signing books. We romanticize it a lot, but it's not as romantic.
I
On
agree.
most days are very, very dark days, because you're trying to please yourself. And sometimes you can be so frustrated because the right word is not coming to you, or your character stops talking to you, or you think you will, like I said, or you think you'll walk into and you'll sign 100 books today and nobody shows up. So you have to be prepared for the dark days as well, which is a message for all the people who are trying to do anything in the artistic field.
This very agree, and I can fully connect myself with that. I can relate myself with that. Some days I was like in a mood that I have to write.
Yeah.
I make a nice coffee. I sit in my balcony, like taking my laptop and start doing it. It's just not happening.
Boom, writer's block.
It's just not happening.
Yeah.
I get frustrated. I get irritated. Then throw everything up. I don't know what I do after that. Then it takes me all day, but the last half an hour of the day comes like a magic.
Yeah.
And I just take, and it never happened that I cannot write on my laptop or in my MacBook. It just has to be my pen and my
Oh,
paper.
that's beautiful.
Then the things happen. So yeah, I can completely relate to that. That
Yeah, but that's so nice that you write with paper and pen. I miss
oh,
doing that.
I cannot, like, I have to break down everything on pen and paper with the pen and paper. Then only I can go through for the next step and writing on the screen or something.
Beautiful.
Well, I see your book, The
Yes.
Trees Told Me So, and I think it's a collection of the short stories, right?
Yes, it is.
And if I'm not mistaken, in 2017 you have
Yes,
launched it,
correct.
and then later on you wrote a book, She, which
Yes.
recently you have launched it as well, right?
Yes.
Tell me the journey between these two. So you were writing short stories. That's
Yeah.
where it happened that you got inspired to write your another book, or how does it happen?
So yeah, Trees told me so. Like I said, I was writing it purely for selfish reasons. I wanted to write for myself, and I think I love writing short stories. I use this example often, that writing a short story versus a novel is, so if I'm writing a short story, I'm meeting Siddharth for a coffee or a quick drink, and I have to quickly impress you because it's just a short story. Versus if I'm writing a novel, I'm right. I'm meeting you for a brunch, which means I have 3 hours to impress you. So I like writing the short story format because I have to grab your attention and I have to quickly tell you character A, character B, blah, 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 blah. This is what happens. And then I also want to motivate you to come back to meet me for another brunch. But
Hmm.
novel is a long process. I have all the day to impress you with my characters. I enjoy writing short stories. Again, because the attention spans also of people are reducing. So, can you just deliver a message in a nugget? So, this is a series of 11 short stories. I call it Love, Life, and Loss in 11 stories. Uh, After that, during the pandemic, I wrote another book which is called It Was the Year 2020. The reason you don't see it here is because during the pandemic, there was no publishing happening
Hmm.
and it was released as an ebook only.
Oh, okay.
And it's again a book which taught me what the pandemic taught all of us. It's a very short book. It's called a fragmentary novel. It's about how all our five senses got affected by the pandemic. And I wrote it purely to remember what the pandemic taught us because public memory is really short. We think we have learned so much during the hard times that we went through during COVID, but we forget, right? We forget that we to wash
Yeah.
our hands for 30 seconds. We forget how the community came together to help everyone. And I even later, when the book could have been published into a physical copy, I decided not to because the book was written with the essence to remember how it was. So I would want generations to remember that there was a time in our life when we were scared to touch paper, when newspapers were not getting delivered, books were not printed because the paper could spread the virus. So that happened. And then I thought there's too much sadness in the world, and that's why I wrote She.
Okay.
Because she is a fun, funny book about what it means
Tell me
to
more
be.
about she.
Yes, so she's a fun, funny book. I love talking about she with a he. So it's a funny book and it's about what it means to be a woman, but there is no male bashing and no feminism there. Right on the cover, it says that amongst the many things I don't understand, most are feminine. So I started writing a funny book because there was just too much sadness in the world at that time. And I was like, okay, let's just change the mood. I wanted to change my mood as well. So it's about all the conversations that I would have with my girlfriend, with a female colleague, with a female cousin, with a female family member, or a friend over a coffee, over a manicure, pedicure, over picking our kids from school. And it could be anything related to vaccine, to having a career, to being a mother, not being a mother, to getting old, to apologize on getting old. All of those conversations turned into She. And she, it kind of also, it got translated into 7 languages.
Wow, that's
Yeah, which was very interesting and rewarding for me because it goes to say something which you were saying earlier, that as humans we relate to the same thing. So while I would have written She from a very Indian perspective of what it means to be a woman, when it got translated into Turkish and German and Tagalog, which means that women all over the world are having the same conversations. So that's how She happened.
excellent. I
Yeah,
mean, bravo job for
thank you.
she. What's next for you? Are you writing a
So the
book?
next one is this, which came a year and a half ago, which is called hashtag I could have been an Insta post. So again,
Interesting.
this, yeah, so this book was written again purely for this generation, which is doesn't have a lot of patience to read. And why it's called hashtag I could have been an Insta post is because Instagram for some reason made us believe that it is that life is really good. Life is all about the good avocado toasts you have. But on many days we burn the toast, right? So what happens to all those moments when we are not happy, when we are weak, we are lonely, we are vulnerable? Those are also part of living. But Instagram made us believe that life is only beautiful. It's like filtered. So hence it's called I could have been an Insta post, and each page in the book is designed like an Instagram post.
Oh,
So it's
interesting.
this tiny, and you see a heart and you see a paper plane and you see the save sign. So you pick up the book every morning, just like how you scroll, you doom scroll on your phone. I want you to doom scroll through the book. So you read something and you put it away. All the thoughts in this book could have been Instagram posts. Was the world kinder and said the world said that it's okay to be weak, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be unhappy. It's okay to have dark days. So that's book number 4. And yes, I've finished my first novel now, which should
Well,
hopefully be,
congratulations.
thank you, which should hopefully be out in 2026. And it's a novel about Dubai. And I'm very excited because I've written it, living Dubai here. So I can't say much, but it's my first novel. So let's see.
Cross fingers on
Yeah.
that. Well, see, again, as I see you and the people around, I'm very sure they see you as a very inspiring personality in their lives. But again, when it comes to, if you ask anyone that how to make a living out of writing, that's a tricky question, because it's not something you have learned in your school or in your
Yeah.
colleges. uh, Me as it, if tomorrow I need to wake up and I said, okay, okay, today is the day I decided to have my online magazine portfolio, I got my website done, but how to make that into turn into a business, and how you gonna get your ROI, return on investment, out of it? Like, what will be the process?
It's very hard. So that,
That's why I want to know from you.
yeah, you have to remember it's going to be a struggle. But I think the moment you decide that this is all you want to do, doors will open for you. So we are always very scared to jump, as you should be. Do your homework, do your research. I've always been in full time jobs, and I've written all my books while having a full time job and an income. At the end of the day, uh, hard fact: writing is not going to pay your diva and your double. It's very simple. So you have to find alternates to how you can pay. Not everybody's book is going to give you so much royalties. Not everybody's book is going to get converted into a Netflix series. You have to have a plan B. But if you decide that this is the only thing that I want to do, don't be afraid, because the doors will open. It will be magical. It's like you sitting with your paper and pen, and then some character starts talking to you. So you have to be just out there. A lot of us who are creators, whether we are actors or whether we are authors or we are podcasters, I think we're very scared to say, hey, I'm an author. Because we've been it's been ingrained in us that any kind of creative job always has to be a hobby. It can only be a passion. But once you announce to the world, I'll use the most used word now, once you manifest, once you announce to the world, hey, I am an author, then the world will respond to you. We do not do that. But I'm not saying, please, that stop doing whatever you're doing to pay your
Yeah,
bills. You have to pay your bills. So you have to be practical, but I think you have to be equally confident and courageous enough to say, this is who I am. Nobody will stop you.
first you need the clarity of what you want.
You need the clarity, and the clarity doesn't come easily. I did BCom honors. I mean, I didn't. I thought that this is what I want to do. I was this close to pursuing my MBA. And I said, no, I think I like selling stories. And I went and studied journalism. Then I went and studied, I have a double master's. Then I was like, oh my God, I love stories so much. So I did my master's in English literature. So the clarity is not going to come to you so easily. And it's okay to change, right? It's okay that today I want to be an author, tomorrow I want to be a tattoo artist. It's fine. So it's okay.
That's excellent. I want to know your business advice as well. Like in Dubai, everything is on social media,
Yes.
right? Completely. So how you, not to say like to make money out of social media, because it will be very cliche
I'm not
question to
making money
us,
out of social media.
but like how to get yourself being in attention of your work, like to get
just
people
just be
notice.
authentic. Just be authentic. I think social media is overwhelming in any case.
Hmm.
And now with ChatGPT writing most of our social medias, what's happening now is whether you go on LinkedIn or whether you go on Instagram, it's actually not a Siddharth and Purva talking. It's one bot talking to another bot. Everybody is using the same vocabulary. Unfortunately, everybody has the same
Yeah.
journeys to share now. Every Instagram post is reading the same. So this is a huge opportunity and the right time to be creative, because everybody is sounding the same. But if you are writing your own thing, you are definitely above everybody else. So use social media to network or to connect with your people, but be authentic. Don't let ChatGPT write how you feel on a winter morning in Dubai. Right, when you're talking about Dubai rain because it just rained, please write about how you feel. Don't let ChatGPT write it for you. So it's a huge place. I'm not making money out of social media. In fact, I don't even like social media. The only reason I'm there is because
To
I
promote
have
your
to
work.
connect to promote my work, and which is a great thing. I mean, I've written an entire book on Instagram, but I don't have a blue tick on Instagram because I never bothered. You can use it to your advantage and you should definitely use it. So, hats off to people who create content, but I think I'm really lazy. I cannot do that. So,
Well, what I found very interesting, what you explained, that you're right, 90% of the people, they are using ChatGPT, and you will find very much similarities in
yeah.
whatever everyone is writing. So if you write your own thing, the market is very small for you, then like you
Yeah.
can easily win in that way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, I mean, who's your favorite author?
Oh no, I can't answer that. It's very hard. I have
I
a
just
lot of favorite.
saw yesterday
Murakami.
your, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Murakami is everybody's favorite author. So that's a safe answer to give. But I just love reading. And I think I love reading good books and bad books. Um, I am a member of the library here,
How you
and
elaborate a bad book? Sorry to interrupt in that.
I don't know. There are books which are bad books as well, right? I'm sure I've written bad books as well. But you should just read everything because you're gaining from every experience. But it's very hard to answer who is a favorite author, unless I love Murakami because his writing is so familiar, yet it is so strange. And all my reader friends know that I keep saying that even if he was going to write his grocery list and publish it, I'll go and buy it. That's how much I love his writing. But I can't answer that question.
Like you
Like,
can really connect yourself with him,
I don't know. I
like
just
with his writing skills.
with this, no, I cannot. I mean, he's there. I'm not even here. But there's something very beautiful and charming with his writing. And he's like a very closed person. So you will not see him on a lot on social media. In fact, when one of his books became extremely popular, he could not handle it. He actually locked himself and he vanished from the world.
Wow.
So I think great writing does happen, or great creation does happen when you also disconnect yourself from the world, which is another reason why I don't like social media. I had met a very interesting author in India, and she asked me a question, and she said, you're doing magazines, you try to do theater, you try to do blah blah blah, so many things. So how do you write? Like, and that's what hit me, because you need your moment of quiet to experience. So, which is what you do miss when you're trying to hustle and you're trying to be on social media, because you're constantly trying to tell the world that you're working. But when are you really working? Which is why I probably don't like social media so much, because I have to create so much content to tell the
Hmm.
world I am an author. Like, I have to pose with my books, I have to write about my writing process, as a result of which your real work does suffer. But this is the world we are living in. It's a convenient world where I don't have to. Um, it's like I have to just, put one post and thousands and 10,000s of people will know I am an author, versus physically going out and knocking at every door.
Yeah.
So I want to use social media to my advantage, that at the comfort of my home, I can tell you, hey, I am an author.
That's excellent. I mean, you said very wise answer when I asked you about your favorite author.
Yeah, I'm playing safe.
Which are the books you can recommend people to that they have to read? Like it's a must kind of in your way to
Okay.
understand life. Like I know there are books
Oh,
for
wow.
everything.
Okay. So I'll suggest two books. One is for anyone who's creative, please pick this book called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Elizabeth Gilbert is the Eat, Pray, Love author, as we know, all of us know. It's a book called Big Magic, and anyone who's creative, and especially anyone who's a writer or wanting to be an author, they should read it, because it's a reminder of what you're doing and how tough the journey can be, and why you keep showing up every morning. That's one book. I think I'm guilty of gifting it to everyone. And the other book, To Understand Life, I don't know. Uh, to understand life is really hard. I don't know how you do that through a book. But we recently read this one book at the end of the year for our book club. It's called The Midnight Library.
Okay.
And it is the most beautiful book about you will always have regrets in life, and you will always think, what if I had done this? What if I had not done that? And that book answers all those questions for you, and it says, where you are right now, this is where you were meant to be.
Wow.
It is a most positive, warm, lovely, lovely, lovely book that I think everybody should read at the end of the year. So
Well,
it's,
definitely it's in my list now. I will
please
definitely
read
get
that.
it from
Yeah,
my library.
you should.
Earlier you mentioned about manifestation. I want to dig a bit more in that part. Have you read the book The Secret?
I have, many, many years ago. Yeah.
Okay. So how you see manifestation in your own
I
life?
don't know. I don't know if I manifest. I think I just work hard. I work hard, and that's me. I mean, I would love to manifest. I do seeing a lot of millennials and a lot of memes about manifesting, and it's like what you seek, you get. But I don't think I'm good at it. I just know that if you keep showing up every single day, that should do the trick for you.
Excellent. What was your reason when you came to Dubai and you're looking for a job? Were you already seeing yourself as an author, as a artist,
No, no, none.
know,
I came here when I got
non-journalist?
married. So that's how I moved from India to Dubai in
Okay.
2012. No, I was not seeing myself as anything of those. I was just looking to find a job at that point. And like I said, I was already freelancing. No, I did not know I could be an author for the longest. I think the calling just comes when it comes. So I don't know how it happened. I don't have a very nice fairy tale to tell you that I woke up one morning and I realized, "Oh my god, I'm going to be an author." No, it didn't happen like that. I just decided to write and one thing led to other and I started enjoying it and now that's what I want to do.
But you always been reading, right, throughout your
Yes,
life.
I have.
Do you think that part helps you to be a writer? Then, and you've been a journalist as well. So somewhere that motivates you. That in some
I
point
think
you feel like to write your own
reading
things.
helps you generally in life and everybody should read. I read 52 books a year. That's a commitment I've made to myself. But I also cheat. If I'm not reaching the 52 target, I pick thinner books so that I tick mark 52. But reading overall helps you in everything that you do. I think it also makes you a better person. It does a lot to your stress levels. So reading 8 minutes a day reduces your stress by 68%.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine, yeah. So I think all doctors should put that in the prescription. Journalism, of course, helps you. It grooms you into writing. Journalism teaches you how to write under pressure. Journalism teaches you that there is nothing known as a writer's block. The newspaper has to go to print in next 1 hour, or the article has to go live in next 20 minutes. There is no luxury of saying, "Oh, I'm not in the mood today." You have to show up. So that kind of trains you. And then when you decide to write for yourself, or you turn yourself into an author or a playwright, uh, you already know how to work under pressure. So
Yeah.
that is how it helps you. Yeah.
This reminds me first time when I met you, and I told you that I'm writing a book,
Yeah, yeah.
and I need your advice. And you told me the only thing you need to do is to write every day.
Yeah.
Apart from them, any other advice you would like to give?
Discipline, discipline. That's the only thing. So you have to read
Because sometimes it get frustrated. Like
all the time.
you want to write, you have your everything on time, you manage your work, and you know come home, you want to write, and then you just in that zone where you cannot write, and it just
Yeah,
irritates you.
so much.
So how you break that?
I
And it's
think
not
you
only
have.
about the writing, sorry, it's
Yeah,
about you creating your own content. Like
yeah.
when I do videos and reels and everything, I don't like much social media as well.
High five.
But you have to do it because
You
for the
have to.
sake you have to do it. But you are being an artist, you are not in a mood to do that. What takes you to still be disciplined and get into the
Do
zone?
you have bad days at work, right?
A lot.
Right. So it's just a bad day at work. So it's not that just like when you are in a regular job, and I'm just using the word regular just to differentiate it from being in a creative job. You have bad days at work, right? You sometimes argue with your colleagues. You sometimes don't get a raise. Sometimes you don't meet the deadline. You don't. I don't know. You don't. Whatever your job requires you to do, you're not able to do it, or you're just having a bad day at work. So that is exactly what writer's block is. You're just having a bad day at work. It's just that because you put so much pressure on yourself because I've had multiple days and weeks. You should ask my husband how moody I can get when I'm staring at the empty Word document with the cursor and nothing is coming. And you're like, "Oh my God, I set up the whole scene. I've done my chores. I've done everything. Why am I not able to write?"
Yeah.
So my advice would be just show up every day. You have to, it goes back to the same question. Once you decide this is what I want to do, you have to show up on bad days also. And that bad day, when you're not able to write, just write about how you're not able to write. I tell a lot of people this. I tell a lot of juniors, I say that just write about how you're having a writer's block. Just write about, "Oh my God, this is so frustrating, I'm not able to write." Because something is better than nothing. Some terrible words are better than zero words. It will open your mind in a nice way. But you have to be disciplined. You have to show up for your job every single day.
Well, that's amazing. I can say
Yeah,
it's tough, but I think being consistent is the only key.
it's the only key.
Also, you get criticizing your own work. That, I mean, it happened with me mostly. Like when I end up shooting this podcast, or when I do my reels, or I do some writings or I take pictures, all around, and I do editing work. At the moment I feel like it's perfect, but when I go back to
You
sleep
hate
and 2
it.
hours I hate that completely.
Yeah.
I feel like being an artist is good, that you are, being very creative, but same time you're criticizing yourself a lot, and you're being very harsh to yourself. Is that happen to you as well?
Always. Always. I don't like any of my books now because now I'm thinking the next one that I've written is better.
Yeah.
Because you're changing as a creative, you're changing as a human being as well. So you're constantly changing. So when you look back at what you were, you're like, oh my God, I wrote this. I'm so embarrassed now. It's like the same thing, right? When
Yes,
sometimes you
yes,
look
yes,
at your
yes.
pictures from 90s
Oh,
and you think, shit, I
horrible.
was wearing those clothes. Like I look ridiculous. So it's the same thing with any creative field. But instead of criticizing, I think I'll call it growth. I think it's very good that you don't like your pictures. It's very good that I don't like my books because I'm giving myself a chance to be better tomorrow. So it's good. Be harsh. Yeah.
That's excellent. So I can be a little in ease for
Yeah,
myself, and the
yeah.
people who are watching, they can be feel good about themselves too.
Correct, correct. And listen, nobody cares. You're in a creative field just for yourself. Like we are so scared to put our words out there, to put our reels out there. Because can you imagine like people are looking at 10 reels in 3 seconds. Nobody is really stopping to see what you're doing. You're just doing it for yourself. Just do it for yourself. Just be happy that you did this today. That's it. Don't let the criticism or oh my god, what are people going to say? People are not
Just
bothered. We
listen
are
to yourself and
self-obsessed.
do your own things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Purva, so you being journalist and you been writing all about art and culture.
Yes.
So this is what your main subjects or something excites you throughout your journalism journey, or is there anything else like a sports or political you prefer apart from being writing for art? Anything else?
I think my heart does lie in the arts and culture, and that is what I started covering aggressively in the UAE, which was another thing that I was very keen on. And I would speak to my editors at Karish Times, and I would tell them that yes, Dubai is a lot about brunches, but there is and about Burj Khalifa being lit up. For every occasion and all of that, but there is this whole huge massive community which is trying to do a lot when it comes to art and culture, which could be comedy clubs, which could be theater, which could be open mic poetry nights, which could be writing books, which could be dance choreography. A lot happens in the art and culture here, and we need to focus more on that. And that's so I have been in green rooms with the artist. I have seen their struggle. I've been on the stage because I've written and directed plays. I've been an editor writing about art. I've also been, most importantly, I've been an audience. So I've applauded, and I know how much hard work it goes to create a live medium of art. Whether you're a painter or a sculptor or a singer or a dancer, I definitely want to pursue writing about art and culture. It's a community which is always struggling, and that is why when the government decides to give you golden visas for artists, I think it's a huge pat on your back, and it's a huge step from the government side to put you in the right direction, because now the government is telling you, you create, we've got your back. And I definitely want to continue writing about art and culture in every form. And the beauty is that you not believe that when we used to do theater practices, and I'm talking about before COVID, we used to practice in Alkus, and there used to be this one gentleman. He would come on a cycle and he would get hot tea for us. This is at 11 in the night. We've finished all our work, and he used to come and give us tea, and he would never take money for it. And we would tell him, why are you doing that? And he'd say, because I'm so happy to see that you guys are keeping theater alive. And that is the kind of stories I definitely want to write about, because that gets missed in a lot of Dubai reels that you see. This aspect is not projected as widely as it should be, but it's a huge part of being in Dubai.
It's like a hidden gem.
It is, definitely.
Well, that's great. I mean, this is something I never heard
Yeah.
that this is existing here. So definitely, art and culture have a huge scope, and I think with having golden visa being
Yeah.
approved to the artists or given, invited them and given to them
Yeah.
after your story, listening your story, I think it will be a big boost for the country to, preserve the
100%.
heritages. So Purva, years after from now, as we are having this podcast, and definitely YouTube is not going anywhere for next 100, 200
I
years.
hope so.
So how you see your impact on your this lifetime on the people after 100 years, what they can have the key takeaways from your journey?
Oh my God, 100 years is a it's more than a lifetime. Okay, I'm really a very tiny human who's just doing her very small bit in the world. I would just want people to read and I would just want people to remember stories. A lot of my work comes from the most ordinary moments in which lies the most extraordinary joys and pains of life. And I would just remember people to cherish life in the tiniest of moments. And if I've done anything in my tiniest bit, and I would not say 100 years, even 2 years from now, if someone is picking up a book and is able to relate to that feeling that, oh my God, this is life, I think my job is done.
Wow, I mean, it's more like a giving away to the society back, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to know, before we leave the show, your advice for, especially for the youngsters nowadays. They are like, there is a lot of chaos happening in the world. You have so many things to do in the limited time, and sometimes it's got very heavy on your chest, like, oh my god, what should I do next? So what would be the ideal, the day routine for them, or for all of us actually, to follow, to make sure that we don't lose our inner artist? Like, we all have, someone who asks us to do something different than what we are supposed to do on every day. But then with the chaos and the crowd and noises around the world, you just kind of lose it. So what would
Yeah.
be your take on that?
Tough one. I think you will always lose it, and I don't think the world is chaotic now. I think the world is always chaotic. I'm sure our parents have had equally chaotic lives. It's just that they were not putting it on social media. So we didn't know they were traveling, that they were having a coffee, they were having a bad day at work. The world has always been chaotic. Now it's just too much in your face that there is chaos. I think everybody has always hustled. It's not a new word. We've always tried to make our ends meet in some way. My advice would be to just, most people tell you at the end of the year, oh, these are the goals I want to do. These are the things I want to do in my life. I would say subtract. Don't add, subtract. So the moment you start subtracting some things, I think you find focus, which is what I try to do every morning. That is this serving me? And it's a long process because, like you said, we are very harsh to ourselves. We want to do it all, but nobody can do it all. So you have to say, these are the three things I want to subtract from my life in 2026. And that would be my advice.
For the new year?
Yeah, we thrive on chaos, don't we? We like productive days. You working on a weekend, you thrive on this. So as long as it's giving you happiness, go for it. But the moment you feel overwhelmed, be kind to yourself and say, it's okay. I can't do it all, but every day I'm getting closer to where I wish to be. I cannot write a book in one day, right? But every chapter that I write, which means I'm getting closer to the end. So just do a little bit every day.
Wow, that's a very, very
Mm.
key takeaway.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much once again, Purva, for being on the show.
Pleasure.
And yeah, need more sessions with you on your next book.
Definitely.
And definitely would love to, read that and share the reviews as well.
Thank you so much. I loved this very natural conversation. So, this is where authenticity shines. Thank you so much for
Excellent.
having me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.